Hello, guys, and welcome back to the Live Strong podcast. If you are brand new here, hi, my name's Livia. I am the founder and head coach of Live Strong, which is a personal training and group gym in Newcastle, New South Wales, Australia. And this podcast, guys, is all about living your healthiest life, but infused with a bit of chaos from my own. And we are in the second last episode of this 10-part season series, whatever you want to call it. As I told you guys when I started posting this year, actually, when did I start posting? Like the start of Feb, I think was the first one that came out. We're doing them in 10-week blocks. So this is week 9 of 10 weeks. And I sort of had pre-thought to some degree. Actually, to be honest, this episode has come up over the 10 weeks to address, and I thought it would be a great topic. But I'm thinking about 10 weeks, get them done in quotation marks, not just get them done just because, but without sort of burning myself out. 'Cause if not, I feel a little bit uninspired with the podcast. I feel like just doing it week in, week out. So yeah, moral of my whole story here. We've got this week, next week, and then I'm going to go on a little 2-week hiatus, and then I'm going to come back better than ever with a few new fun ideas. I hope and I think. Anyway, let's start with my high and my low from this past week. Let's start with the low, guys, because this was an easy one to come up with because, oh my God, it has affected me bloody every day this week. And that is how sore my legs have been. Oh my God. We did every Sunday in the gym, we're doing a Hyrox specific workout for those doing Hyrox. So we have about 20, 25 clients from the gym actually competing in Sydney Hyrox. And every Sunday morning, we're doing a workout together in the gym that is super specific, sort of working on those skills. It's like a killer of a workout, but also just being super specific to what we need to do on the day, right? But it was my first one last Sunday, a lot of people's second one, and no word of a lie, guys. The workout finished. I finished the workout of 100 wall balls. My legs seized up, and I literally could almost not walk to the car. They had completely seized up. I'm not joking. And I was like, oh my God, this is terrible. And then my quads have been fucked all week. All week. It's now Friday, recording this on Friday, posting it on Friday. And today I trained legs. I was meant to train them Monday, Tuesday, whatever day I sort of worked out in my schedule. No, they had to wait till Friday to be trained. And they're already sore again. I'm like, they probably were not recovered enough. Literally so bad. But that's okay. You get that on the big jobs. Most of the guys that did it on Sunday was super sore. I think we all just flogged ourselves. We all worked really hard and had pretty much no rest and just sort of maybe pushed past that point of fatigue, which is good. Me personally, I probably didn't warm up well enough because I was too busy raving on lesson learned. We always learn these lessons, and I always go back to doing the wrong thing again. I haven't been training at full range of motion in my squats because I had pinched my back a few weeks ago, and anyway, I was just doing a bit of deload, but I did for that workout, and the back was great, which is good, but I think my poor legs had not gone through that range of motion. And I've had a bit of a change in training over the past 2 weeks because I've started Hyrox training. So there are reasons, but it was the workout went for 25 minutes and I ended up not being able to walk for a week. So when almost at Sunday again, when I'm going to have to do another one of these Hyrox workouts, and I'm like, I better be recovered and recover better this week. If not, bloody hell, I don't know what I'm going to do. No, I do know what I'm going to do. I'm going to just power on, as they say. But that's fine. Now, my positive or my high for this week, I probably could have had a few this week. I feel like I've had a great week, but I'm going to talk about my Thursday because I think that's sort of been my high of this week. Since being back from America, so ages now, what did I say? Feb, we sort of got back in the swing of things. I've been pretty flat out with work. I think there was a few combinations of things. We had staff away, and then we've had a change of staff. One client staff member had left. We got a new staff member. So a few things on the back end with like staffing had changed. So I've been working a lot, which is fine. But working a lot face to face and maybe just covering a bit more than all. Anyway, I promised some people I wasn't going to rant in today's episode. That wasn't a rant. That was giving context. But on Thursday, I finally sort of hit my new roster plan and I had a sleep in. It felt so nice. Don't get me wrong. I did start work at 8 o'clock in the gym. So I only slept till 7. But I think I've been waking up, like having 5 a.m. starts for, I want to say almost months now. Even when I wasn't doing 5 a.m., it's either 5 or 6 a.m. So, I feel like it was a nice, refreshing start to my day on Thursday. Anyway, that's how yesterday started. Sleep in, woke up, had about 3 hours in the gym working from 8 to 10:30, 11-ish. Then I went and ran 10 kilometers, which is a long way for Olivia, and it was a good run. Smashed it out. I do have a bit of like a mental barrier about running in the middle of the day. I'm like, oh, it's too hot. I wouldn't have ate enough. I'll be tired. Like, I give myself all these excuses, but I had a good run, so that was good. And then I came home and was productive with my work, like admin work. So tick, tick, tick. And then I went to the gym and ran the Arvo classes, and that was also a slay. So I just had a really good day yesterday. You know when you have a good day and it puts you in a good mood? Also, it's just, like we obviously know this, but how good do you feel when you actually have enough sleep? And I think I don't run on enough sleep, which isn't good. And I think it's something I'm always trying to work on. And I think this year maybe the past years, so past 12 months, I've really trying to prioritize having a nap like maybe every second day. And, I always feel like I need to give an excuse as to why I do that, but I do average probably like between 5 to 6 hours of sleep a night. And it's mainly because I don't finish work till 7:30 in the gym. By the time you get home, have dinner, shower, get in bed, in a perfect world, you'd be asleep by 9 o'clock. But like I said, I finish work at 7:30. So sometimes I'm not home till 8. That gives me an hour to maybe organize dinner, maybe not, but eat, shower, at least sit down for a little bit and then go to sleep. So generally I'm asleep by 10 o'clock. That's like my cutoff. And then I'm up at 4. So yeah, moral of my whole, guys, I've started the ranting. No, what I'm trying to tell you here, it's a positive thing. I've been trying to get better at napping because sometimes catching up on a bit of sleep during the day isn't illegal, depending on how busy my admin load is for the day. Sometimes, I can have a 30-minute lie down. Other days I can't. Sometimes I can have an hour. Some days I can't. So I've been trying to get better at that, but all the time I can't. So having a little sleep in, having 8 hours of sleep, you feel like a brand new woman. So great day Thursday. Anyway, they're my highs and lows, bit of a recap of the week. But we've got a fun weekend ahead as well. Anzac Day weekend. Hopefully everyone's having a weekend that is going to fill their cup up. Whether that's, going out, having a few drinks with friends, maybe playing 2-up, or maybe just seeing friends. Dinners, maybe it's sleeping in, maybe it's doing nothing, seeing family, doing house jobs, whatever. Hopefully you're going to do something good this weekend. Long weekend. We just had one, having another one. Big sleigh. And then I'm going on holidays at the end of next week. So my next 2 weeks are looking up. Woo! Anyway, let's get into today's episode. So as you would have already seen from today's title, we're going to be talking about the real cost of being healthy. And I guess, what does it really cost to be healthy? And this was sort of sparked because of, I guess, the cost of living crisis that we're in at the moment. And really, if you think back, that we've sort of been in since COVID, which is a really long time. But I think since then, since 2020-ish, just to live has got super expensive. And, I think we are growing up, or, we are experiencing a time that, maybe 20 years ago, it would have looked really different, people are working really hard and not getting much reward from it. And I'm sure all of the people around my age or whatever listening to this thinking like, how am I ever going to afford a house? And when maybe 20 years ago, these concerns weren't as appropriate. So I think right now, like 2026, the cost of living has obviously grown like even more. But I think it's also something that has just been difficult for us for years now. And I think maybe we got a bit used to, how expensive it is to do things, but it's just got obviously so much worse. So I wanted to bring up this super relevant topic because when we think about, when times are tough and maybe we're going to cut back on our spending or, maybe be a little bit more frugal, I think that's a good word. Unfortunately, a lot of the times things that get cut or one of the first things that get cut or drop off the priority list are things that are positive for people's health and fitness. And this could be in lots of different ways, obviously relevant to me, that's someone's gym membership. Maybe that's someone stopping to see a health professional and they see, their psychologist, their dietitian, even their GP. It can even just be as something as simple as people changing what they're shopping for. We do see that having fresher food can potentially be more expensive. So maybe we're opting for things that are going to be cheaper and easier. But yeah, I wanted to maybe just run this past your brain cells to get everyone sort of thinking about what does it actually cost us to be healthy, and is it worth is it worth spending our hard-earned money on our health? And I guess what is it actually worth paying for, really? Is it worth it to you to pay for these things? So I'm going to sort of run through a few little dot points and maybe just give you a bit of food for thought, essentially. Really, there's no right or wrong answer when we're thinking about, spending money in general, because everyone's going to prioritize what they want to prioritize. And also, everyone's in very different positions. And yeah, sometimes times are bloody tough and you are just going to say no to things and bite the bullet to do certain things. But I also think sometimes we need to have a bit of a harder think about, or even just doing some financial planning. I think a lot of people cut things out or whatnot and maybe haven't actually even looked what they're spending their money on week to week. But I'm not giving you a financial plan right now because I am not the girl for that. You should see, side topic, I love numbers, random. I'm a bit of a numbers girly. I'm a spreadsheet girly, all these sorts of things. And yeah, I do have financial plans for the business and for us personally. But my spreadsheets are just so Olivia coded. I make them myself and I make them so that they make sense to me. So we've got colors, we've got all these different things happening that anyone who uses Excel normally will be there's definitely easier ways to do this, but it works for me. So yeah, I'm sure a lot of people maybe don't plan their weekly finances. I literally plan what I'm going to spend my money on every single week. I pretty much know where every penny is going to go every week. And if I spend excessively outside of that barrier, I sort of know that there's that money there that maybe could be used. If not, I won't do it. I'm a bit crazy like that, I think, actually. I'm the stingiest person ever, I swear. Anyway, let's get into this bloody conversation, people. So I guess where I want to start is that I think everyone has in their head that being healthy is expensive. I think it gets treated as if it's a luxury to experience health. And look, to be honest, I guess it is. It is a luxury to be able to be healthy. But I think maybe reframing in our mind what that needs to be like it doesn't have to be, to be healthy, you don't have to be taking all these supplements and you don't have to be going to the gym every single day and you don't have to be eating perfect meals all the time. But maybe we reframe what that sort of looks like so that it suits you and what is accessible to you without completely like getting rid of that area, thinking about maybe our food. Okay, yeah, maybe we're going to have to cut back on making these meals from this meal plan or seeing a dietitian or whatever. But it's like, okay, well, there's a lot of free resources out there. Maybe you separate your appointments with your dietitian rather than going fortnightly. You go once a month. Okay, we've already saved a little bit of money there, right? Maybe we're then going to start getting a few ideas, recipe ideas off TikTok rather than paying for a meal company service. Or, maybe we're going to have to eat the same meal more times a week so we're not having as much wastage. Like, small things can be changed for you to still have a similar result. Same thing with the gym. Like, there's lots of different ways to move your body. And sometimes it's not like one size fits all. You think, oh, I've got to be doing 6 sessions a week and I've got to do all these sorts of things. Well, no, maybe you do need to train in a gym only twice a week, or maybe you go to an online program, or maybe you start also adding running into your training. Like, maybe there's all these different things that you could be making changes for to sort of, rather than cutting things out, which is what I'm trying to say here, and treating it as like, oh, well, I can't eat healthy because it's too expensive. Well, that's probably you telling yourself that. And like I said, maybe you could reframe how you do things a little bit to fit it inside your budget. Same with your training, sort of same with everything else. But then after we sort of think about, what it actually costs to be healthy, and I guess actually thinking about where you could make changes for it to be more accessible to you. But I think people, unfortunately, also just have their health too low on their priority list. And I guess, yeah, maybe there's some things that are really expensive and are unnecessary, but there are also probably some things that maybe you need to prioritize more than others. And maybe you think that it's something that can be cut off the list. Like, let's say, like, this is just a rogue example. Let's say you're vegetarian and you having your protein powder is really one of the only ways you're getting protein in because you don't eat other things or whatever, let's just say that as an example. But then you go, oh, it's too expensive to have my protein powder. That is going to have a negative impact on your actual body, right? And let's say your protein powders, as a rough example, let's say $100 a month. It's probably not that much, and maybe it is, I don't know, whatever. $100 a month, let's say. Where can we find $100 a month to potentially, save for that protein powder? And that could be in a lot of different instances. Like, maybe that's you not putting on your aircon as much, saving off the electricity bill. Maybe that's you, rather than buying a coffee every single day, you buy it every second day. Maybe that's you, rather than organizing with your friends to go out every weekend, maybe you have drinks and food at home. Like, small things like that aren't going to really be having a big impact on your life, but could be making small little savings that you could afford that protein powder. Make sense? Much like people's gym memberships, I guess this is like a bit of a topic very personal to me. People will be very easily inclined to cancel their gym membership. And look, sometimes you can't afford it, and that is so fine. But like, two things come to mind when that happened. Like, when I'm saying obviously there's lots of reasons why people cancel their gym memberships, and I don't want people to feel like you can't cancel your gym membership and whatnot. Like, this is fine. This is just me trying to advise you on prioritizing your health, essentially. But two things, like I said, come to mind. The first thing that comes to mind is that people will cancel their gym membership, but they won't like sort of replace it with anything. And it's something that I always sort of say to people when maybe they've told me they're going to cancel a membership due to finance. I always say, I hope you're still going to move your body somehow, because honestly, guys, 9 times out of 10, a lot of people will cancel their membership with us and they won't do much. Like, they will cancel and they won't exercise anymore. And that honestly makes me so upset, because I want them to be able to take the knowledge and the learnings and maybe the motivation that they've learnt with us into the future. But unfortunately, maybe they haven't built enough, I guess, resilience or determination to do it on their own. And they've sort of found this as a way to, like, maybe they do need to say their finances and they've just gone, oh, I'll just get rid of the gym. I'll just go for walks. But they don't do that thing. So they're completely neglecting exercise and moving their body, which I find really, really sad. So that's the first thing. And the second thing with people like not prioritizing their gym membership and letting it fall off their payment list, I guess, is that they really just don't see their exercising, which therefore is their health to me, as a priority. And like they'll cut their gym membership, like I said, and look, all well and good if someone's got a backup plan and, whatever they're going to do instead. But if they're not going to be making progress afterwards, like they've just cut it out, there's probably somewhere else that they could be making a financial cut to maybe make their priority more about their health and less about something else. Like another thing is like maybe getting your nails done, let's say, which getting your nails done could be paying for your gym membership. Okay? Like something like that where you've prioritized, which like I guess when you say it out loud like this, it does sound silly. Like you've prioritized getting your nails done over exercising. And again, like everyone, this is super like situational to the person and their circumstance. And also, if they are going to continue to train, but like I said, more times than not, it doesn't happen. So we really need to be thinking about where our health is actually a priority on our list in all ways, shapes, and form. And look, guys, it is a tough time for everyone. So everyone is sort of making these trade-offs, Can I afford that? Is that a necessity? Is that a priority? But like realistically, people are keeping things like, they're having 5 different TV subscriptions. They're, having all of these convenient spending things, all these like things that they're keeping, but they're cutting the gym. So we're all making these trade-offs, but it's important that you're honest with yourself about what and why that's the reason that you're cutting that thing. And I feel like it sounds like I'm maybe complaining or I don't know, but I'm bringing awareness to this topic. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make people aware that when times are tough, it is easy to let these things slide. But really, our health should be a priority, because if we think about the bigger cost, like the cost of starting to remove things from our health, like really having or not putting time and energy and effort into your health, long term, it's going to have effects on your energy, on your confidence, maybe your body image, the way you talk about yourself. Maybe you're going to have medical issues. You're going to have injuries. Like we forget that our health, like exercising, nutrition, sleeping, all these things, like they're not just like how I sort of said before, maybe it gets shown as this privilege and this royalty to be doing all these exercises and eating all this fancy food and all that stuff. But like deep down, we do it because we want to be healthy. Do we not? And yeah, cutting these things could be having a bigger effect on you than, like your mental health. Like all these things tie into being a healthy human. So it might feel like you're saving money right now from cutting these things, but like in the long run, you're saving nothing, when you're costing your health. So I guess, talking about how we think about our health and how we think about maybe really how much it's going to cost us and where it sits on our priority list, it's something for you guys to reflect on as well. And I think, was it 2 or 3 podcasts ago, I talked about prioritizing your health, and I guess what that looks like. And this sort of has come back full circle to that concept as well, because a lot of people just do not prioritize being healthy enough. And as we age, as we experience different things in our life, it's going to probably pop up to bite you in the ass if you're not prioritizing your health enough. We only have one body. It is our temple, as that one might say. So we've got to treat her with some love and care, her or him, as some love and care. So I guess it's a little ending convo for us to think about here. Like, it's not always about spending the money and thinking about what we're spending it on, but it's more about spending the money better, right? And maybe knowing where the money goes as well. That's probably another little thing to take away from here, because you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be doing all of this excessive stuff. You don't need to be doing the most crazy plans or whatnot, but it's about doing enough that is going to continue for you to get progress, for you to feel good, and for you to be prioritizing things that matter to you, because your health really isn't another expense. Like, it's not something that can just come and go, right? It's a thing that impacts your life forever, which again we forget. And again, like, one more rant side topic is, like, again with the gym, I think people go to the gym thinking, oh, this is about me looking better. No, coming to the gym is about being a functional human, being able to be strong, to be capable, have a healthy heart, for you not to get injured, sitting at your desk at work. The amount of people who don't exercise and literally get workers' comp from sitting at a desk, we train so that we can be healthy and we can live the longest, happiest, functional life that we possibly can. So, your health, it affects everything. It affects your energy. It's going to affect your day-to-day life. So it's going to affect your confidence. It's going to affect your mood. It's going to affect everything, right? So in time, everything feels expensive. That's just sort of one thing we can't get away from. Like, we can't get away from it. It's going to nip you in the little booty, like I said. So if there's one thing that I think we take away from this is, don't ask yourself, can I afford to be healthy? Ask, is it worth investing in? Is it worth it for you to invest in that thing? Whether it's you going to the GP, you going to your psychologist, you going to the gym, getting your food, whatever it is it worth you investing in it? And if I ask myself if it's worth investing in my health, I have an easy answer. But I hope this has brought a little bit of food for thought to you guys. That was sort of the idea. Get that large brain ticking. And just know everyone's finding it tough. And as a business as well, like, it's definitely not an easy time being a small business owner. It's definitely a really hard time. So I think everyone's in the same boat. So keep doing things that are right for you and right for your priority list. And please continue to support small businesses, because not only me as a small gym, but I'm sure, your local coffee shop, maybe random pop-up brands in the middle of Charlestown Square, people at the markets, everyone appreciates when you're supporting local. So, we'll get through it, people. But I tell you what, you may not get through it if you don't prioritize your health. Oh, no. Anyway, one last episode next week, and we're going to talk about the Hyrox plan, what we're doing, what my goals are, the training situation, just a little bit of a see what's happening. We're doing a 12-week training plan, so I thought, why not bring you in on the journey? Anyway, guys, have a beautiful, safe, long weekend, this Anzac long weekend, and I'll see you next week for the last episode of season 3. Bye.